Why EUC riders become addicted. Let's go!
Alright, let me explain something because people outside the electric unicycle world think riders completely lost their minds. They see a grown adult flying down the street on one wheel dressed like a Power Ranger carrying groceries and immediately assume somebody made terrible life decisions. And honestly, they're not completely wrong. The first thing riders get addicted to is freedom. Real freedom. Not fake freedom where somebody rents a convertible once a year and suddenly starts posting inspirational quotes. Electric unicycle freedom feels different. You stop thinking about traffic, parking, gas stations. Suddenly every sidewalk and bike lane starts looking like a runway. You start treating the city differently too. Riders stop seeing obstacles and start seeing possibilities. Little cut-through paths, empty alleys, smooth parking lots behind stores. Everything becomes part of the ride. You start noticing details regular people ignore completely. Smooth concrete feels luxurious. Fresh pavement feels emotional. Bad roads feel personal. And riders become dramatic about pavement too. You ever hear a rider discover smooth asphalt? They react like archaeologists finding treasure. Bro, feel this road. Man, why are you rubbing the pavement with your shoe like you about to marry it? Then carving enters your life and now your brain is finished. Carving feels therapeutic in a way non-riders will never understand. You lean left, lean right. Smooth pavement under your feet. Wind hitting your face. Bills disappear. Stress disappears. Arguments disappear. You could have been arguing with your girl 5 minutes earlier, but now you're floating through a park like a spiritual dolphin. And the funny part is riders do not even realize how weird they look while carving. Y'all ever see yourselves on security cameras, full body leaning side to side, smiling hard as hell for absolutely no reason? Looking like happy penguins escaping taxes. But carving really changes people mentally. Riders always talk about how calming it feels. Some people meditate, some people journal. Electric unicycle riders lean aggressively through bike paths, pretending life is perfect for 45 minutes. Then people stop using cars for short trips. That is when you know the addiction got serious. Corner store, wheel. Gas station, wheel. Friend house, wheel. Riders start volunteering for errands nobody asked them to do. Anybody need something from the store? No. You just want an excuse to ride around the neighborhood looking futuristic. And once you start choosing the wheel over the car, your brain changes permanently. Sitting in traffic starts feeling disrespectful. You in your car looking at gridlock thinking, I could literally be carving past all this bullshit nonsense right now. Move. Meanwhile, drivers staring at you while trapped at red lights looking miserable. One man gripping his steering wheel with dead eyes while you silently float by like an electric gazelle. Then weather becomes emotional. Riders suddenly become part-time meteorologists. You checking wind speeds, looking at rain percentages, studying radar maps like your family farm depends on it. Chance of rain at 7:30? Nah, I gotta leave now. Regular people use weather apps to plan life. E-riders use weather apps to protect happiness. And learning balance creates a dangerous amount of dopamine. Because every beginner looks ridiculous at first. Legs shaking, arms flapping, sweating like they fighting invisible bees. But then one day the balance clicks and suddenly you think you are athletic. You ride 20 feet successfully and now you're walking around the house like you just signed an athlete endorsement deal. Every rider remembers that first successful ride too. You go from surviving 5 feet to suddenly traveling half a parking lot and feeling unstoppable. Then you start getting overconfident immediately. You know what beginners always do after their first successful ride? Start giving advice. Brother, you learned yesterday. Why are you teaching people already? Knock it off. I think the key is relaxing your calves. Your calves still scared right now. The progression becomes addictive too. First you learn mounting, then turning, then carving, then curb drops, then trail riding. Every week feels like unlocking a new video game level. That feeling keeps people hooked because there's always another skill to master. And every new skill unlocks new confidence. Dangerous confidence. That is why EUC riders start saying wild stuff after 6 months. Honestly, potholes do not even bother me anymore. That pothole absolutely bothers you. Your knees just signed a peace treaty with fear. Then the community drags you deeper into the addiction. Electric unicycle riders are supportive but also financially dangerous. You show up with your first wheel proud of yourself and immediately somebody says, nice beginner wheel. Beginner, brother, you spent 2 paychecks on this thing. Then riders start poisoning your brain with upgrade talk. You need suspension. You need more torque. And you should get a faster wheel. Suddenly you watching review videos at 3 in the morning listening to a grown man whisper about battery sag in a Walmart parking lot. Electric unicycle review videos are hilarious too. These reviewers always standing somewhere windy speaking in engineering language like NASA employees. So today we are testing high-speed stability at 60 miles per hour. 60? Brother birds do not even trust themselves going that fast. And group rides make everything worse. Group rides feel like a superhero parade mixed with public confusion. One rider blasting music. One rider dressed like a motorcycle transformer. One rider going 45 miles an hour wearing basketball shorts and bad judgment. And somehow everybody thinks this behavior is normal. And every group ride got at least one rider who acts like a motivational speaker. You gotta tap into the wheel chakra, bro. Trust the wheel? Meanwhile, this machine caught fire on YouTube last week. Then there is always the overly confident speed rider. Every group has one. This man treats public streets like qualifying laps. You stop at a red light and he already stretching his legs. You trying to race, let's race. You don't really want to race? Sir, we are going to get tacos. Relax. And group rides confuse pedestrians so badly. People stare at electric unicycle riders like they witnessing alien technology. Kids get excited. Old people look terrified. Dogs completely lose emotional stability. Dogs hate electric unicycles. You riding peacefully and suddenly every dog in the neighborhood takes it personally. Now you in a race you never signed up for. Then comes the speed addiction. Every rider starts scared. 20 miles an hour feels terrifying at first. Your butt puckers every time the wheel beeps. But eventually your brain adapts. 3 months later you riding around talking about, honestly this thing feels kind of slow now. Slow? Brother, your first week you almost cried turning around a mailbox. And YouTube comments make the addiction worse because riders normalize insanity. You read comments like, this wheel cruises comfortably at 65. Comfortably? At 65 miles an hour, my spirit already left my body through my butthole and started writing farewell letters. But eventually every rider wants more speed, more range, more torque, more suspension travel. It never ends. Electric unicycles are basically technology-flavored greed. Then you start justifying upgrades in ridiculous ways. I need a faster wheel for safety. Safety? You bought a machine powerful enough to outrun common sense. And finally, there is the one more ride effect. Every rider lies to themselves with this one. I'm only going out for 15 minutes. That is never true. Ever, because once the ride starts, you keep extending it. One more block becomes one more neighborhood. One more neighborhood becomes a 40-minute ride, and now you're battery low and your legs feel like cooked spaghetti. And the crazy part is riders never want to end on a bad carb. You ever notice that? If the last turn feels awkward, you gotta do another lap. Nope. That carb felt ugly. One more ride, I think it's my old placement. Now it is midnight, and you accidentally traveled across town chasing the perfect turn like a pavement addict. It's definitely the pads. That is why riders become addicted. Not just because the machines are cool. Electric unicycles make grown adults feel excitement again. They make errands fun. They make people feel free. And once your brain experiences that feeling, it keeps wanting more. Thanks for watching.